Squidward stood outside his house, holding a box full of shiny green apples. He smiled proudly. Today, he was finally going to make something special. Squidward drops the apples in the blender. Time to make the perfect green apple juice. With a big smile, Squidward finally pours his fresh green apple juice. Smooth, perfect, and proudly made by himself. Squidward lifts his glass with pride. The perfect green apple drink is finally ready. Everyone shouted, "Wow, this is great!" Mr. Krabs grinned wide, holding a box of shiny green apples, ready to cook up something amazing. Mr. Krabs tossed the apples into the blender. Mr. Krabs smiled proudly as he poured the green apple mix, ready to make a sweet and shiny dessert. Mr. Krabs sat happily in front of the oven, waiting for his green apple cake to bake. Mr. Krabs smiled proudly as he held his green apple cake. It looked perfect and delicious. Everyone shouted, "Wow, this is great!" Patrick smiled softly as he carried a box full of green apples, excited to make something fun and tasty. Patrick happily tossed the apples into the blender, ready to make his own sweet green jelly. Patrick laughed with joy as he poured the green jelly mix. It looked funny, shiny, and super tasty. Patrick carefully placed his green jelly in the fridge, excited to see it turn cool and wobbly. Patrick smiled proudly as he held his green jelly. It was shiny, wobbly, and looked perfect. Everyone shouted, "Wow, this is great!" SpongeBob smiled brightly as he carried a box of green apples, ready to start his fun new recipe. SpongeBob happily sliced the apples and filled the blender, ready to make his fresh green juice. SpongeBob screamed in shock as the blender exploded. Green juice splashed everywhere. Mr. Krabs, Squidward, and Patrick burst into laughter. SpongeBob's juice disaster was just too funny. SpongeBob stood in the messy kitchen, crying loudly. His green apple juice was completely ruined. Please help. SpongeBob happily picked fresh green apples from the orchard, the sun shining bright on his cheerful face. SpongeBob looked serious as he blended the green apples, trying hard to make the perfect juice. SpongeBob smiled brightly as he painted his green jelly sculpture, turning his mistake into a fun masterpiece. SpongeBob looked proudly at his green jelly statue. It looked just like him, shiny and perfect. Mr. Krabs, Squidward, and Patrick stood in shock. They couldn't believe what they just saw.